This is Super Yacht News. In association with Go Earth, navigating boat buyers to better deals. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So we're going over to Indonesia. A ferry fire happened on Sunday. A deadly fire on an Indonesian ferry claimed 5 lives, including a pregnant woman. This, like I said, this happened on Sunday, 20th of July. The fire started towards the stern of the vessel, most likely in the engine room, which is where most fires start. And the superstructure was very quickly ablaze. As you can see from this footage here, amazingly shot by somebody in the water. Survivor jumped in the water with a life jacket on, also holding a young child, which you can hear crying in this video. The numbers of people on board this vessel seems to be a bit confused. We've seen reports as little as 280 people, and the AP has actually said that there were 568 people on board. So I don't know why it's so confused, but it's a little concerning that nobody seems to know how many were on board, right? I don't know. I don't think Indonesia has the best safety record when it comes to ferries. Now, it's unknown, like I said, what caused the fire. We most likely know that it started in the engine room, started towards the stern, which is where the engine room normally is, but we don't know why it started. Now, in this footage as well, later on in the footage where they've put out the fire, you can see the vessel still smouldering. You can actually see the life rafts on the side, the inflatable life rafts, which we've talked about in recent videos. You can see them still on board. Nobody's actually launched them, which to me suggests the fire spread very quickly because the crew weren't even able to launch those life rafts. With everybody jumping in the water, you'd think somebody would have launched those rafts, but apparently they didn't have time. That's what I'm taking from that. The fact that they're still on board like that. They're actually burned in the video footage, you can see. Now, a lot of those lives were saved because of the fast response of the Navy and the Coast Guard, according to local reports. You can see in the video footage here, there are a number of Coast Guard vessels and other vessels working to put that fire out. They did a very, very good job there. But by the time we see it, that footage there, the fire is out, and that was a blazing fire. Now, also, like I said, the safety records in Indonesia are not great. I don't know if these vessels are, approved and checked by any organization. It seems that the fire was spreading really, really quickly. I don't know whether they use fire-resistant materials in these ferries. But yeah, very, very, very sad story. Like I said, 5 fatalities. Including at least one of them was a passenger. We don't know who the rest of them were at this moment. Anyway, we'll move on. Notice this happening today. Motor Yacht Crescent was actually on the move. This is a vessel that is associated with one of Putin's Kremlin buddies, Igor Sechin, who's often referred to as Putin's right-hand man. The vessel was arrested or detained in Tarragona in 2022 by the Spanish authorities, as initially they couldn't identify who the owner of the vessel was, or they weren't providing the appropriate paperwork to say who the owner was. The vessel was detained at that time, and it's been there ever since. Now, the yacht has been allowed out. There's actually a physical barrier to Tarragona Marina to block any vessel from leaving without authorization, and it's a bridge which has to be open to allow these kinds of this size vessel to leave. They have left a couple of times. They've done at least, I would say, probably 3 other sea trials that we know of. There may have been more. But we saw that the vessel was out there today, showing sea trials as a destination. And towards the end of it, we just expected it to go back to Tarragona as usual. But then it changed its AIS destination to Barcelona, and then proceeded to head to Barcelona. You never know with the AIS destinations on these vessels. They're always trying to mislead other vessels that have been avoiding sanctions. Obviously, this one's been arrested, so it's a bit different, or it's been detained, should I say. But the vessel did go to Barcelona, and we last spotted it on the AIS here. You can see the vessel entering Barcelona, and then before they even docked, they switched off the AIS. So now what we believe is happening here is the vessel was going to the shipyard there. MB92 shipyard is in Barcelona, and that's a shipyard that could deal with a vessel of this size. We believe it's going there for some work. Now that yacht's been sat in Tarragona since 2022. A big yacht like this will need lots of maintenance, and they've probably not been getting much in the way of maintenance in there because there's no facilities there really for anything under the surface, right? So they're probably going into a dry dock, I would imagine. Vessel is probably due a 5-year survey. Now, we don't know exactly what they're going to be allowed to do and what they're not going to be allowed to do whilst they're in there because, you know, we don't know the conditions of the vessel's detainment. We don't know if it's arrested, if it's seized. We don't know, you know, we know it's detained. That's all we know. So we don't know what exactly will be done to the vessel. It will probably be urgent or essential or, you know, repairs only, I would imagine. But, you know, Scheherazade had a 2-meter stern extension done by the Italian Sea Group. So you never know. Like I said, the AIS was turned off while the vessel was still in the channel. You know, it's not normal behavior at all for a vessel to switch off the AIS while the vessel's still underway. The legalities, illegalities of such a thing is a grey area for me as I film this video. Generally, your AIS has to be running while you're at sea. I believe while you're underway and at anchor. So, but they were already in the channel. So, but anyway, it's not normal behavior regardless. The AIS would remain on all the time. They would never be switched off, but they're always trying to conceal their location. So, you know, it's not, like I said, not the normal behavior of a captain. So there you go. But anyway, the vessel Crescent is a yacht which was formerly named Project Thunder, built by Lursen and delivered in 2019. The build was managed by the sanctioned and now liquidated Imperial Yachts. 135 meters in length, 445 feet, 9,100 gross tons, and a value of approximately $600 to $650 million. Now, like I said at the beginning, the ownership of this vessel is believed to be linked to Igor Sechin, although I'll most likely get an email from some lawyers claiming to represent him, saying that he doesn't own the vessel. I'll save you some time. He already says he doesn't own Amore Vero, which is in La Ciotat in France, but it was arrested because of its links to him, and it's been there ever since also. Now, the person who claims to own this, you might recognize this name, Edward Gutenatov. He also claims to be the owner of Amadea and Scheherazade in Marina de Carrara, and also, I believe, he claims to own Amore Vero, which I can't confirm that one because I've heard it, but I don't have a concrete confirmation of that one. But he claims to own an awful lot of boats. So that vessel is now in Barcelona. We posted actually this morning when we saw it heading there, if anybody's in the area, to get down to the marina there if they can and film the vessel coming in, because it's not very often you see it. Like I said, it's the first time it's gone anywhere other than Tarragona since 2022. If you did manage to get any footage, please be sure to get in touch and send it to us through the link that will be in the ticker at some point in this video. All right, we'll move on to another story now. This is about, would you believe the Monaco Yacht Show is already selling tickets? It is almost that time of the year already, unbelievably. They are selling tickets, like I said, on their website already. Now, if you want to go to the Monaco Yacht Show for the 4 days this year and you don't have an invite, you don't have a ticket sent to you by somebody, it will cost you 1,950 euros to go for all 4 days. So yeah, that's a lot of money. I would not recommend going for 4 days. I would say that 1 day is enough to see everything. But anyway, back to the main point of talking about the Monaco Yacht Show. One of the yachts that will be in attendance this year is a yacht that was built for Bill Gates. It will be at the 2025 Monaco Yacht Show. Now, Breakthrough, that's what the vessel's called, Motor Yacht Breakthrough, formerly Project 821, was built for the Microsoft founder. And it's something that we broke on the channel last year, that he was the owner of that vessel. We also broke on the news that he had put that vessel up for sale, and also that he built Motor Yacht Breakthrough, and he also built another vessel, which was a support vessel. He also sold that vessel as well. Now, the reason why Breakthrough is called Breakthrough, I guess, is because it's the first super yacht to have a hydrogen fuel cell on board. And it is also the first yacht, of course, because of that, to actually be refueled with liquid hydrogen recently. It was on the I think Boat International's website. Now, as a result of that, they have to store that at minus 253 degrees Celsius, which is minus 423 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, safely storing fuel on the vessel requires a double-walled cryogenic storage tank, which is effectively a very large, well-insulated cooling box in a dedicated room. And it takes 8 to 10 times more space than the energy equivalent in diesel fuel. Now, some say Walt Disney's head is also stored in that same location. You'll either get that or you won't. Anyway, some of the key specifications of this boat: built by Fedship, 118 meters, 389 feet. Built in 2025. Guests, it can carry 30 apparently. Crew of 43. Gross tonnage of 7,247. Now, we believe that the price for this vessel for sale is astronomical, even though it's comparatively to some of the big yachts, its value is about $650 to $700 million. So, and it's because of the technology that went into it. Now, one of the things that always comes up when we mention a vessel like this is, you know, how it's impractical and it's a waste of money, blah, blah, blah. And I get it. It is not the normal thing, right? But it's always the first one that comes along to do it. It always sets up for the future, right? So that one vessel gets built, and then other vessels will benefit from that because they'll have the technology they've already worked out. Fedship have already worked out how to do it now. So if somebody else comes along and wants a vessel like that, then they'll be able to do it. And most likely it will be less expensive as the more they do, right? And it's the same with anything, with cars, with aircraft, whatever. The technology is built, is created for the first one, and then it trickles down to all of the other cars or planes or whatever eventually, or vessels. So that's why it is called Breakthrough, I guess. So anyway, guys, 2025 Monaco Yacht Show, Motor Yacht Breakthrough will be in attendance. Very excited to see that boat. It will definitely be one of the high-profile yachts at that event. Now, obviously, the reason why it's there is because it's for sale, right? It's not just there to, like, sometimes yacht manufacturers will bring a vessel, they'll ask the owner, can we use your vessel to take it to a show because we want to show off what we've done, right? And so that could have been the reason, but I as far as I know, the vessel's still for sale. It's still listed on Edmiston's website for sale. So I guess it's there because of the sale. So yeah, should be interesting to see at the show. Anyway, guys, I'll leave it there. Be sure to check us out on patreon.com/esysman. We did a video today about Crescent on the move, and I told a story about things that happened in the marina there when I went there in 2022. So if you want to check that out, go to patreon.com/esysman. And yeah, all the usual stuff. In the ticker there's an email address if you want to send us information. And there's also one there if you want to send us any videos or any photos or anything like that through WeTransfer. And be sure to like and subscribe and share these videos with other people if you know anybody else who you think might be interested. It helps to spread the word. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll catch up with you soon. Bye-bye.